I would like to talk about Joe Bowen's tweet.
Sure.
Joe Bowen, who, if you're not familiar, is the radio announcer for the Toronto Maple Leafs, used to be TV as well. But because Sportsnet wants to use their own people, and because they, even if it's a Canadian team versus an American team, want to appear neutral, Joe Bowen is not on TV anymore. And he is the best caller the Leafs have ever had. Think of, if you're a Bruins fan, think of Jack Edwards, who, is going to retire at the end of this year. He's beloved in the community. Leaf fans are dying for him to get on TV. The networks just won't do it for whatever reason.
It's been a number of years too.
Yeah, nice man. Interesting to read this tweet. Can we bring it up on screen? So here's what he says. The idea of going to any sporting event to support the home team is to be proactive.
Why is it
give the team
structured like a haiku?
Because I think he wrote it and
Okay.
it doesn't matter. It's like the guy's like 65.
No, I know.
What are we? Are we gonna
nitpicking?
You're nitpicking. Can I just get through this?
No.
I want to get through this tweet. The idea.
What is this? Your first show with me?
The idea of going through,
that's a good
Maddie,
question.
please put it back on screen. The idea of going to
Maddie, what do you think?
No, Maddie, take it off.
What do you think of the
Stage.
structure of the tweet, Maddie?
Yeah.
It's effective.
You got to pull down the mic.
He hit return too often.
I think it's effective.
yeah,
God.
see?
I like it.
The idea of going
No,
to any sporting event.
Adam, you can read it.
The idea of going to
Hey,
any,
Adam, he's actually 73.
the idea of going to any sporting event. He's 73. To support
73.
To support the whole
Sorry,
team
continue.
is to be proactive. Give the team energy when they need it, not sitting down waiting to be reactive. The players can't say it, but I will. Tonight's crowd was very disappointing. I'll be honest with you. The crowd was right into it after the first goal. The crowd was right into it after the second goal. What happened?
They blew it. Now,
and hold on. How fucking quickly did they blow it?
like immediately.
A fucking minute later. Enough with this shit. You know what? I understand. I get it. I understand that we got a lot of suits in the building, and I fucking can't stand when people are in platinum seats during a playoff game wearing a suit. Fuck off and put a jersey on. I don't care how important your client is. You're at a Leafs game because your client loves the Leafs too. Put on a Leafs jersey, wave a goddamn towel, wake up.
The games in Boston, I couldn't believe how many jerseys were right up against the glass.
100%.
You never see that here. You just don't see it here.
But here's what I want to say. We know that.
Yeah.
We know that. I got to ask the media people. The media. All of us. We're all jealous. We're all not jealous. We're all guilty of this.
The media.
We know that the barn in Toronto, it's just not great because of the platinum level sections, which are very expensive seats, oppressively, and they're excessively expensive. And guess what that gets us?
What?
It gives us a ton of. We have more coaches than any team in the NHL. You know, not only do we have assistant coaches, but we have an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator. You know that. Mike Van Ryan is a defensive coordinator for the Leafs.
Oh, man.
We have 5 effing coaches. We have more scouts. We have more this, more that than anybody else. Bigger analytics staff. Not sure how much it's done for us. Those people are buying those things for us. Okay?
Yeah.
So I am willing to accept that. But what I am not willing to accept is completely erasing the fact that the fans were into it. And the reasons the fans are reactive is because this team fucking blows it all the time. And when you're in the building, you can feel it.
You're nervous.
You're nervous. Sorry. I'm sorry. Is my cheering not good enough for you? Well, your winning isn't good enough for me. So enough with this shit. I understand, and I'm willing to accept the trade-off. The fans were loud. Jesse and I were up in the 600 level, so that's the gondola level, and we were up right above the blues and the greens, which are those people are loud. It's loud up there. And I've been to Bruins playoff games. It's loud in there. But and the fans were rocking before that game. When the Leafs opened the scoring, it was ear-splitting. The problem we have is that we continue to have a team that we cannot trust. I can't enjoy the good moments. I can't enjoy being up 1-0. I can't enjoy tying the game 2-2. I can't enjoy it. I can't. Ryan Reeves went out there and had some banger shifts. Crazy stuff. Fans are right into it. What happens? Boston comes back and scores or has a crazy opportunity. At some point, expecting the fans to carry an $83 million team to victory is fucking bullshit. It's a bullshit ask. Win. Fucking win, man.
You gotta win.
Win.
Now, another problem, and I've said this for a few years, is you know what's impossible to do? Literally impossible, is go to a Leaf game with a big group. Unless you're like spectacularly rich.
Yeah, unless you like own the team or
Yeah,
like a corporate sponsor.
But even then you would have to know someone, because all these season seats are owned by like all these different corporate, like who would you even call?
Yeah, you're
Like,
getting
No
to get
idea.
2x2s, right?
Like I was counting on my fingers while you were going on that rant, because I'm trying to figure out how many letters are in Matthews. And the reason I was trying to do that is, remember the dudes who followed the team around?
Yep. They went to Buffalo. They went to Florida,
Buffalo and
Tampa.
both games in Florida.
Yep. Couldn't do that in Toronto.
8 guys.
No.
8 guys sat next to each other. You can't do that here.
No.
That'd be
You
$10,000.
can't bring a group of 8 people.
8 seats don't exist consecutively in Scotiabank Arena that you can purchase. It's
which
impossible.
is, by the way, a good thing. That's a good problem to have. I would argue that's a good problem to have for the Leafs.
Well,
Because-
for the team,
Yeah, because-
financially,
if you're
for the-
talking about the bottom line,
yeah,
in
and
terms
that's
of
why.
fandom,
But
it
that is why
sucks.
I put it on the organization. Because okay, fine. You want to sell all those platinum seats at outrageous prices that really only corporations can buy, because that's really only where it makes sense. You buy that personally and you can't write it off. You're blowing money out of the window. Like you're torching it. The reason that those corporate seats are there and the reason they'll spend money on them is they can write them off. That's taxable income that goes to them, and it doesn't go to Justin Trudeau. And they're thrilled about that. My point is, we've given you the money. We've accepted that our barn isn't as exciting because as fans, we understand that that's happening. We've given you all the resources. I'm sorry. It comes back to the team. It comes back to management. It comes back to how this has all been put together, which is, if I can guarantee you, the reason why Boston fans are dancing in the aisles is because they've won before. It's because they've been good for a long time. And yes, they haven't won a cup since 2011, but they've been to the finals. They regularly win 1 or 2 rounds. Yep. Last year was such a story because they didn't win.
Yep.
Honestly, Boston fans are confident. As a Leaf fan, do you know what that feels like? And is that your fault? I don't think so.
The only thing against the winning argument is that there are plenty of places around the league that have much better atmospheres. Like currently, every Canadian team in the playoffs has much better atmospheres, and none of them have won anything.
So this is what I was going to ask. The closest comparable I can think of, like a team that has had basically exclusively heartbreak. They're a little on edge. They haven't been in the playoffs for a while. They got a lot of corporate backing. That's Vancouver,
who have just a terrific atmosphere for these 2 games.
It's also
right.
been
So
10
why does
years,
it suck
guys.
shit here?
It's been 10 years since Vancouver's been in. They're riding a high of just being there.
So was
and
it
that's
louder?
not an insult.
So now, so that's an interesting point. So I'm trying to figure out, was it louder in 2017 when that rookie team made it?
Sure.
For the Leafs, and you know what? It was.
Yeah. Because we were riding high.
But
we had
what has happened since
how many
then?
Game 7 or Game 5 meltdowns has this team had since? Boston.
2018, 2019.
2020
and we weren't even there. 2021 and we weren't even there. 2022, they finally won in 23 and they lost to Florida in Toronto.
So let me ask you.
Know what I mean?
Yeah. So listen,
scar tissue, dude.
Nothing against Joe Bowen personally.
No,
I understand what he's saying, but dude, like, what do you expect? These guys, this team, it might as well be tattooed on them. It's their DNA to fuck up.
They fucked up in an empty building. 2 of them.
So don't tell me it's on the fans to lift in $100 million fucking. I said 83 million. It's $100 million. It's $100 million that they spent on salaries this year. It's $100 million roster, and it's on me, who makes, I don't know who I'm going to say average salary. Somebody who squeaks into a game because they have a cousin who's got season seats that go back 3 generations. And I'm going to go, and this is my one time in the last 5 years that I've been to a game, and you're telling me, sitting in the greens or sitting in the golds or sitting in the reds, that it's my fault? My fault? Stop it. Win. Stop that shit.
You got to give them a reason.
I 100%. And you know what? The building was going. It was going. Jesse, we were there. It was going.
It wasn't like It was going, but it's not as good as what happened in Edmonton. It's not as good as what happened in Winnipeg. It's not as good as what happened in Vancouver.
And
I'm not ashamed to admit that. I've been to a game in Vegas. Like, I've been to a regular season game in Vegas, and that atmosphere trumps Scotiabank Arena every single
well, then,
You actually-
then it's
we
on the
gotta-
Leafs to fix that.
We got a stat last night from producer Nick. So producer Nick, we're like a week into the playoffs, has already been to 3 playoff games in 3 different Canadian cities. He went to Vancouver, he went to Edmonton, and now he's in Toronto. Vancouver and Edmonton both hit 115 on the decibel meter.
Nice.
And the Leafs' highest they got was, I think, 101.
Guys, this is the trade-off. This is the most profitable franchise in the NHL. The way that you make it the most profitable franchise in the NHL is doing that. The reason they make it the most profitable franchise in the NHL, and they don't just go, you know what, we'll take all those corporate seats back, and you know what, I don't want to make $100 million extra dollars. I would rather just have fans in the building. If you want to do that, that's great. But Leaf fans are willing to take that trade-off if the team wins. And this is where the frustration comes in, and this is where the nervousness comes in. Cheer for what? What did I have to cheer for last night? What exactly did you give me to cheer for? Oh, it's my fault. I fucking can't stand it. If it was like Ottawa 2017, they're in the Eastern Conference Final and they're not selling out, then I could say, hey guys, show up.
Here, I'll give you a great example.
Come to the game.
I'll give you a great example, Adam. You got to give fans something they love.
It's not a lovable team.
No. It's not a lovable team. But there are lovable figures around it. You got to give them something they love. Game 3, 2017 against the Washington Capitals. Capitals are wrecking the Leafs early. Leafs fell down, I want to say 2-0 early. Building's dead. Everyone's like, oh my God, they're going to lose this game. They're going to get run out of the building. I just wasted all this money on these tickets. I was sitting next to an Oilers fan for some reason who was just shitting on Toronto the whole time. I'm like, why are you here? Go away. And he wasn't wearing a jersey or anything. You know what got the building on its feet? You know what led to 3 massive hits from the Leafs and a goal the next shift? You know what made the whole building loud before the puck was even dropped for that shift? They showed Dart Guy on the screen. Because Dart Guy became a thing game 2 of that series.
I remember that.
So game 3, that was in Washington. Game 3, the phenomenon of Dart Guy arrives back home in Toronto. They show him on the screen. 20,000 people lose their fucking minds. Lose their fucking minds. And Nazem Kadri goes, fucking right! And he runs over Brooks Orpik twice, and Leo Komarov blows someone up, and then Matthews scores, and then they're in that game, and then guess what? They ended up winning that game 4-3 in overtime. Bozak. You got to give them something they love. And that, I thought, was brilliant from Leafs game ops during that game, because the Leafs were not giving the fans something that they loved. So they're like, well, there's Dart Guy. And they bring him out there, nails it. Now,
I don't think Adam's point, though, should be lost that we sometimes have to accept that it's not going to be as good, but the trade-off is that you get the best of the best. And I feel like...
And Jesse, you're wearing a Rangers jersey. Like,
yeah,
there's no corporate seats in New York?
Right.
Yeah, but
like
it's not
Madison
the same.
Square Garden.
Steve,
Is that,
that's not the same. Not even close to the same. The Rangers are like the 6th most popular team in New York. It's not the same. Stop fucking making that argument too. Not just you. I'm talking about anybody that makes that argument. It's disingenuous.
No,
Stop. Hockey is a niche sport. South of the border.
You're off with 6. 6 is
what do you got?
aggressive.
Hold on. What do you got? You got Rangers. You got hold on. Giants, Jets, Yankees, Mets. What else do we have?
No. I'm not putting the Mets over the Rangers.
I am.
I think you're wrong.
I think I'm 100% right.
All right.
The Mets are a far more popular team, and I think they're worth more than the Rangers.
Now wait though. Let's concede that, Jesse. Let's give it to Adam.
Uh-huh.
Give it. So was it Jets, Giants, Yankees?
Mets.
No. Take the Mets away. Just humor him. Take the Mets away.
Okay. What else do we have?
There's Knicks.
Yeah.
Are they
Kind of a big deal?
bigger or smaller than the Knicks?
Bigger. Or sorry, the big Rangers?
Yeah.
Smaller.
Okay, so Jesse, best case they're 5th.
And then you got the Nets too. I think
I don't know. I don't know enough about
They're
it.
bigger than the Nets,
Yeah.
probably.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think you got some legit arguments with Jets, and I think
Even if they're third, Toronto is number one by a country mile.
They're between 5th and 7th.
no, but you're talking like population base.
I'm
Like,
talking popularity based. I'm
No,
talking
no,
about
no,
where it appears
let
in the
me- let me
newspaper.
fin- So the population base is larger in New York, so there's a more cumulative amount of fans.
Yes,
You know?
and that's why the Rangers make so much money.
Yeah.
There's so much more money in New York.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think Steve had a point when he was trying to bring up that in other places where there is a massive amount of corporate dollars, they are still able to generate great atmosphere. Okay, you want to go to a different sport that you said is more popular than the New York Rangers. The New York Knicks have a fantastic atmosphere. They have more corporate dollars than the Leafs and the Rangers.
That's
and
fair.
they have celebrity row. And they're able to create a great atmosphere.
And you know what? Maybe on that point, completely get it. And I would concede. And I think the Rangers. First off, the Rangers. The reason they're so profitable. If the Rangers were a standalone, they would not be near as profitable as they are. They are able to group sell. The sales team sells both Knicks and Rangers. Everybody wants to buy Knicks, and we'll throw the Rangers in.
Sure.
And so the Rangers have a halo effect that they benefit from the Knicks because the Knicks are iconic. I also think, Jesse, you make a really, really good point. They make a point of making it an atmosphere.
Yeah.
MLSE has never done that.
Yeah,
And so that is a failing again. Is that a failing of the fans? Is it the fans' job that MLSE hasn't done that they don't have a celebrity row? No. It's not.
Right. And
Stop
I think
putting this on the fans.
if you go to the Los Angeles Lakers, they have a problem that the Leafs have, where their atmosphere in LA isn't comparable to other places like New York, even though they're as big of a market.
Yeah, but what do
Because
they have to cheer for?
they
Go
have,
out and get LeBron James, and then we can talk.
They have a very no hate to you guys, but I think it's true. They have a more stuffy atmosphere where it's more of a uptight celebrity culture there, where regular people are a lot priced out of Lakers games. And with Knicks games, even though it's a crazy expensive ticket, even though it's one of the most valuable franchises in the NBA, they're still able to create this atmosphere. So I'm not
videos of Knicks fans outside the
it's
building.
amazing. It's
are
amazing.
some of my favorite things.
best things in sports.
Holy shit! Like they're randomly talking shit to LeBron. They're not even playing.
So
I love it.
I'm not willing to give MLSE any leeway with, hey, it's the corporate seats, so you can't create a great atmosphere. Like they got to be able to make that too.
I agree. And that's my whole point. And this is where, and I feel, again, Joe Bowen is just the latest in the parade of media people who've said, well, the fans need to be, no. Do the fans own the building? Do the fans own the team?
The problem
The fans
runs
do not set
deeper.
the atmosphere.
Yeah.
MLSE sets the atmosphere, and the Leafs set the tone.
Dude, well, I was making fun of it on the stream. It's a 1-goal game.
Mhm.
There's less than 2
This
minutes
is why I
left.
actually, by the way,
What?
not even kidding. This is part of the reason why I'm like, man, you should be in that freaking building doing the streams.
What?
Not that you would.
Well,
but it's like,
booze count as noise.
not as the whole.
Yeah.
Not as like, oh well, if Steve's there, they're gonna cheer. That's not what I'm saying. Like, do something. That's that dead body meme where it's like,
Here,
are you
come on,
gonna
do
something?
I got something way simpler. There's less than 2 minutes to go in a 1-goal playoff game. Are you fucking kidding?
That's what they did.
Charge!
Which, by the way,
What is this, a Little League game?
also nobody can relate to the charge thing anymore. It's over. It's over. We gotta
What is this, 1994?
we gotta move on.
Guys, get a pulse!